For Australia, India is a top-tier security partner, says Australia's Prime Minister Anthony Albanese. The Australian Prime Minister is on a 4-day visit to India and was on board INS Vikrant, India's indigenous aircraft carrier in Mumbai. He said he was pleased to formally announce Australia will host the Malabar exercise for the first time this year, bringing together navies of Australia, India, United States and Japan. On board INS Vikrant, the Australian Prime Minister also interacted with Indian Navy personnel, officers and sailors who carried out joint exercises with the Australian Navy in the past. This is an extremely significant step given that the exercise that started 3 decades ago, Malabar series of exercises that started in 1992 as India-US joint naval exercise, now has Australia and Japan, and Australia was inducted in these high-profile war games to test interoperability. For example, only in 2020, amidst the India-China standoff at the line of actual control. I want to quickly cut across to India Today's Shiv Arur for more on this big story. Shiv, extremely significant development. Expansionist forces like China would be watching this with rising concern, given the fact that the Australian Prime Minister is in India and made this announcement on Indian soil on board an Indian warship.
Gaurav, the Malabar series of exercises is one of the world's most complex, most ambitious, multilateral exercises in the world. It started off, remember, as an India-US exercise. Then Japan joined in after a few years, and now Australia is also part of it. So this is basically a quad exercise, even though it's not being labelled a quad exercise, because remember, the quad always tries to say that it is not a military alliance of any kind. But the flavour of the Malabar is necessarily, obviously, the quad. For the first time, it's going to be happening off the coast of Australia. Very interesting, because the Indo-Pacific has been established as the place where the future lies, where most things will change over the next 50 to 60 years. And these 4 countries have real investments. All of their interests are centered around the Indo-Pacific region. Malabar exercises in the past have happened in the Bay of Bengal. They've happened in the southern Indian Ocean. They've happened, in the South China Sea, off the coast of China as well. Yes. But now, in the Indo-Pacific, off the coast of Australia, it's going to be extremely interesting. Australia, so far, has had a pretty tentative involvement in Malabar. This will be the first time that they have a large sort of participation in the Malabar exercise. And incrementally, with each passing Malabar exercise, Gaurav, the complexity of the exercise, the interoperability of the ships, submarines and aircraft, of these 3 countries and now 4 countries has grown by leaps and bounds. It's become a situation where, even though the Quad talks about not being part of a military alliance, the Malabar exercise is basically structured in such a way that these 4 countries can go into battle together, can operate together if the need actually arises. So obviously there's a lot of talk about, how Quad is just a talk shop. They don't really, talk about being a military alliance, but the Malabar exercise suggests something else entirely. They may not say it, but obviously it's true.
Oh, absolutely. One adversary, one expansionist power, and you have 4 sets of eyes, so 8 eyes on any Chinese ship that's entering the Indian Ocean region. Clearly, being forewarned is being forearmed. Shiv, that's exactly what's happening. For joining me here, many thanks.